Part of our problem is that we run around naming things without asking them if they want to be named. Then, after we name them, they don't know they're named anyway. A tree doesn't know it's a tree. A fish doesn't know it's a fish. And if the fish did know, it would probably be upset by it. Who wants to be called fish? Wil Neuton. Even at 14, Wil Neuton towered over his parents. They were short, and somehow the genes had jumped a generation and made him tall, 6 feet 2 inches, and had given him breadth, a strong body with wide shoulders and long legs, and muscled arms with big hands. He was brown-blonde, with brown eyes and some freckles across his nose and cheeks, the kind of freckles parents and aunts who visit once a year just love, but which the owner of those freckles hates. When he was small, one visiting aunt, whose name was honestly Clara, would reach down and pinch his cheeks and say things that were supposed to be cute about the freckles. But when Wil grew taller, and taller still, Clara gave it up because she had to stand on tiptoe to get a good hold on his cheek, and even Clara, in her once-a-year wisdom, knew that it looked silly to be hanging on the cheek of somebody over 6 feet tall. But the freckles were still there, as well as even, white teeth and a fast smile that made tight crinkles at the corners of his eyes. When Clara could no longer grab his freckled cheek, she settled on his teeth and smile. On her yearly visits, she would insist, "Smile and show me your teeth. Come on, smile now." The first Thursday after school let out for the summer, Wil's father caught both Wil and his mother at the same time in the kitchen before they could get away, and he began a conference. He loved to hold conferences, but they tended to be boring in an amiable way, and his wife and son tried to avoid them. This time he sat at the table with a fresh cup of coffee and smiled up at them, beckoned them to sit down, and said, "What would you guys think about moving?" Wil said nothing. His mother, who was only slightly thin and had a usually composed face, smiled back nervously and pushed an imaginary hair out of her eyes. "What do you mean?" "I mean move. You know, like pack up and move." "Is this another of those Alaska things?" she asked. 2 years before, Wil's father had gotten sick of his job with the State Highway Department and had come home one day and announced that he had a chance to go to Alaska and work on a road out of Nome, and they should start packing. Wil's mother developed a nervous tic in her left eye, which had taken almost a month to disappear. It wasn't as bad as the time a year earlier, when he had come home one afternoon and announced he'd come across a plan to raise foxes and retire at 46. When he started building the cages in the basement and seemed about to order the first fox, Wil's mother put her foot down. "Because if it is, Jim—" No, this isn't like that. The truth is, I've been promoted, and they want me to take over a district in the northern part of the state, up by Pinewood. It's a real opportunity, and I've pretty much got to do it. So, how do you guys feel about moving?" Wil took quick stock of the situation. They now lived in Madison, a fair-sized city, with things to do, things to see. All of his friends were here. And he was used to the school, knew which teachers were dorks and which weren't, knew what to expect, knew that he could get through the neighborhood alive. "When?" his mother asked. "Well," his father hedged. And knew where the bike shop was to get his Sekai repaired, and where to get good hamburgers, knew how to fake volleyball in the phys ed class to get a good grade, knew which water fountains in school were usually full of gum, which stalls to avoid in the school bathroom. "When?" "Well, it's kind of different for all of us. I mean, you don't have to go up there when I do. I thought I would sort of go ahead, and then you could kind of follow me when I found a place." Knew how to avoid Moose Ackerman, who liked body contact and thought everybody else did. Knew which hobby shop had the best models. Knew which video store had the best tapes. Knew which music outlet had the best albums. Knew which roads were best for pacing bikes. Knew where Cindy Matson lived.